Today in the Boot Guide, we are looking at the DANNER Mountain Light Cascade. Gentlemen, I know you're thinking right now, man, is that a little boot? I mean, just look at that thing. Look how small it is. Well, it's the women's version of the Mountain Light. Now, I have been asked and requested by a lot of ladies that I deal with when it comes to safety shoes and industrial shoes to do more ladies heavy-duty casual outdoor boot reviews, because the only information that exists for the ladies' boots out there is how nice it matches your handbag or your lipstick, or whether or not it's going to be the perfect boot for you to go to the coffee shop in. There's nothing, when it comes to information for them, there's nothing about durability, fit, and all that other stuff that people just don't seem to think that the ladies care about. So I've been asked and requested to do a review on this boot. Now, before we get to size and fit, how to buy a pair, how to take care of a pair, and all that other stuff, let's talk about some of the details that go into building this boot. Now, just like the men's boot, you're getting all the great leathers, the rebuildable quality that comes with DANNER, and the sole, the Gore-Tex liner, everything. It's all in here. They're not leaving nothing out because it's a ladies' boot. So let's start with the sole. Vibram Kettle Lift sole. So that's the really hard rubber on the skin of this sole that is sandwiched into a really soft midsole. That's where you're getting your comfort in this boot. Unfortunately, the comfort's not coming from the upper. The upper is not the most comfortable upper out there when you think about modern hiking boots and you think about hiking boots in general. It's all coming from the way this sole is attached to the upper, that soft midsole. Now let's get to this upper. Now this upper is something else. This leather is something else. About the only place in women's footwear that you're going to find a leather that's this quality is going to be in some real heavy-duty equestrian riding boots, maybe some heavy-duty motorcycle riding boots when they bring the sizes down to fit the ladies' feet. You find leather that's this quality, and in some imported hiking boots, some stuff that you're going to find from Switzerland, some stuff that you're going to find from France and countries like that, where they still have a core business, where they're still making real hiking boots. So this leather, it's a beautiful light leather, and yeah, you know, the first time you get anything on it, it's just going to stain. Light leathers like this are going to look like crap, but looking like crap in a pair of boots like this is just going to show some patina, some age, some wear, some qualities that are going to be specific to you with this boot. All right, hardware. As always, when I talk about hiking boots like this with D-rings, with speed laces, really good heavy-duty hardware. This is not cheap hardware by any means. I mean, the price of the boot kind of reflects that. You wouldn't think they would use cheap hardware on something that falls into this price range, correct? The hardware, surface mounted. So if something should come off, there's really no good way for a shoemaker to put something back in. They might be able to rig something. You might be sending it back to DANNER to have them put new hardware in. In my opinion, the only way to do this correctly is to cut the welt apart and to get inside there and reattach it and then put it all back together is the only really good way to do that. You can't puncture through this because it's got the Gore-Tex waterproof lining in there. So the boot's 100% waterproof. That Gore-Tex liner goes all the way around the boot. It's not just taped down to the midsole, it's underneath the midsole. It's built correctly. For a lady's boot, it is built 100% correctly for this type of boot. So this is one angle of the boot you're probably not gonna see a lot. That tongue unfolded, unwrapped, all unlaced. It's probably I'm probably the first person in the world to ever show this off in this aspect, in this setting. This isn't something that people ever want to talk about, is the way this tongue works and the way this tongue goes together. Yeah, it seems a little cumbersome. It seems a little, it's going to take you some time to break it in, but that's Gore-Tex all the way around inside there. That's keeping you dry. And Danner does such a good job when it comes to cutting their pieces that everything fits together like a perfect puzzle. So you can really get this boot nice and tight and formed to your foot. See, the really nice part about that tongue is, yeah, it fits nicely right inside that crevice that happens from that cut, from that die cut. But that can also fold over. So you can actually get that thing to fit even tighter across the top of the foot, especially say you sprain your ankle, say you hurt your foot and you're out on a long walk. You're going to have to adjust your boot in order to accompany that injury. This boot does a great job of opening up, spreading out, and getting really tight. It does all that nicely. Now they send along a flat 1/4 inch red lace with this boot. Now I understand that that big fat lace on this little boot really makes it look like a kid's shoe, like something you would have seen Punky Brewster wearing or Rainbow Bright or something like that. But this is classic. This fits into the classic hiker mountaineering look and style, and I think it looks pretty damn good. All right, ladies, let's talk about size and fit. Now, inside this boot, there's nothing. There's no insole, there's no orthotic, there's nothing inside here. So what you're gonna have to do, more than likely, is you're gonna have to get yourself some insoles. And I would suggest that you get insoles that are perforated so air can pass around inside your boot. So when you step, you kind of move some air around. Now, the other thing is about the size of this boot. Now, whatever your size is, you got to remember you're going to be adding that insole, because one, you're going to want a little bit more comfort because you're only getting your cushion from the sole here, from that midsole. So you're going to want some more comfort, so you're going to want a comfortable insole. Two, insoles take up space inside boots. So you got your heavy wool sock that you'll be wearing when you're out on the trail. You've got your insole, so you're going to have to buy these things a half size bigger. Now, buying boots is always an aesthetic, it's always a visual thing. You're always going to look in the mirror. But if you're buying these boots for their intended purpose, yeah, buying that half size bigger, you might think it makes your feet look bigger, but just think about the quality and the safety that comes from wearing a real traditional hiking boot. So taking care of this leather, like I said earlier, anything you get on this, any sort of oil, dirt, debris, anything like that is going to stain this beautiful leather. I would call this leather veggie tan or elk brown. I know that when it comes to the names of leathers for the coloring, that's a really weird place to play. So let's just call it a nice light brown leather. Something like this, when it gets wet, it's going to stain, it's going to change colors. So applying mink oil to this when it needs it, keeping the leather soft with boot oil, not a bad idea. Actually, it'd probably be a really good idea within the first month of wearing these to pull out the laces and just go to town with a nice coating of your favorite boot oil or your favorite waterproofing type penetrating oil. Now, when it comes time to clean them, the one thing you want to do is you want to clean your welts. You want to preserve your welt as best you can, because by saving that welt, by keeping that stitch from deteriorating, from just falling apart, that just means when you're ready to have this thing resoled, they're going to have something to work with. So I'm sure you want to know what these boots look like on. So stay around to the end of the video. I'll have a short little segment of these boots on. They're not on me, not with my big feet. I didn't squeeze into this little boot. I'll have a little video of them on with some jeans and then just a pair of tights. The two ways that I figured that you would want to see how they look on. So stay around to the end of the video. So that's the Danner Mountain Light Cascade in this beautiful brown color. If you're currently wearing anything from Danner, if you're a woman and you're wearing Danner boots right now, please comment below and let the other ladies know what you think about the quality, the break-in period, and just everything that goes into getting a pair of these Danners to fit perfect. Hey, if you're interested in seeing some close-up, detailed photos of this boot, swing by to bootguy.com. I will have a detailed blog posting all about this boot, all about the kettle lift sole and the midsole, just so you can get a really good understanding of what you're purchasing before you run out and buy a pair. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. It really helps out. And remember, if you're on Instagram or Twitter, you can always follow me there. Hey, if you're about to order a pair of these mountain lights online and you're just not sure about size, how they should fit, which color is the right color, and whether or not the boot's actually going to be right for what you've got planned for it, feel free to shoot me over an email. All right, until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.